I was broke, but I'm living in the hills now. I was crazy, but this ice made me chill out. Those 20s, I need blue on my bills. I'm not like Kylie Jenner, everything I got is real now. When I'm out, you be staring like a sightseer. I will not holler, baby, I'm not like Bieber. I don't ever give an F like a nice stager. Fuck it, I'm just keeping it 100 like a high fever.
Hi again. Yeah, the prop is a boxing glove again. I'm pretty sure this is my most used prop, but it's relevant to the topic that we're gonna be covering today, so shut the fuck up. Sorry about that whole intro though. I was just listening to a Ricegum diss track to pull me out of that vacuum of space I talked about in the last video. Turns out my theory of the two songs canceling each other out was completely correct. But all of that aside, welcome back to another video with either iDubbbz or Content Cop in the title. Today we're gonna be talking about our favorite little sandworm, Ricegum. Recently, and very generously, he gave Drama Alert, hosted by our favorite Lava Lamp Keemstar, an interview. But Ricegum didn't come on Drama Alert just to have a few laughs or to mess around with Keem. He came there with a very specific purpose. He was there to call someone out, specifically for a boxing match, as one does in this year of 2018. Now obviously there's build up before that. You have Ricegum working his way up to saying the person that he wants to challenge to a boxing match, and as his trademark goes, he calls a couple people irrelevant.
Man, I hear all these YouTubers fighting in August, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I kind of want to be a part of it. I really do. I want to be a part of it, and I've actually been challenged by like guys like, you know, Tanner Fox and like Road to Shaw, like these kind of like irrelevant YouTubers in a way where I feel like it wouldn't motivate me to, you know, go out of my way to hit the gym and, you know, get good at boxing.
Yeah. Typical Ricegum fanfare. We've already hit that nail on the head at least a couple times. If I wanted to put a number on it, I'd probably have to get Bill Gates to design a quantum calculator for me or some shit like that. But if we're just guessing, it's probably larger than the amount of light years that the Andromeda Galaxy is away from ours. So pretty fucking big. But enough stalling. Ricegum is about to get into the real reason you even bothered to click this video.
You really do. And the only person I could really think of, and I don't hate him, you know what I mean, at all, but I mean, he did drop like a 30-minute vid on me and just has a lot to say about me, and I feel like it would be really, really interesting if, you know, me and iDubbbz were to box. I think it would be interesting. And
yeah, that's not exactly a huge surprise, to be fair. You already knew it was coming, seeing as the title says exactly what it's about, but let's give Ricegum some props here. This actually seems like it could probably be a pretty decent matchup. Ricegum and iDubbbz are both roughly the same height, give or take an inch or two, and they both seem like they have similar builds, that of toothpicks. And even more to Ricegum's credit, he shows a little humility in regards to his stature and in his skill to boxing.
it's like, I don't even think it's like he's scared of me, because like I'm really not intimidating with the, you know, I'm skinny or whatever. I have no boxing experience, you know what I mean? I'm not athletic, you know, I sit and make videos. I don't work out or anything. So, I mean, I don't know. But I think, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a good fighter. I'm going to put that out there, but just seeing all these YouTube...
Now, while I haven't seen Ricegum box in any sort of professional setting, I do have some very old footage from one of his old training sessions, from one of his ancient feuds with his former nemesis, Taylor Kniff, when he wasn't quite yet a hype beast back in 2016.
I'm about to rock his shit, bro. Which one? This one?
You can see that in Ricegum's form. In preparation for this fight in particular with Taylor Kniff, he adapted a number of fighting techniques and amalgamated it into a unique and arguably completely new form of boxing. And since there's no official name for it just yet, I've taken it upon myself to dub it dick fisting. You flop your arms and hands around like you might do to a limp penis. While we still don't have any footage of this technique being applied in the ring, we do have a mock fight setting in Ricegum's confrontation with FouseyTube.
In seconds. Oh no, the next step is gonna be me replying to him saying, you better just add me next time. This is about to be crazy. What the hell is this fool doing?
Oh, whoops, that was the wrong clip of those two getting up close and personal with each other. Here's the one I was looking for.
Watch it. Let's look at fake. Watch right now. Why would you do that? I didn't, bro.
Hey! Look as the sheer force of Ricegum's punch generated a shockwave powerful enough to send the cameraman's arm flying upward, thus blurring the image. It's intentional, I'm sure of it. According to my research, it was once an ancient technique originally used for farming and to herd cattle, and it was later adapted for combat, kind of like a sickle. Ricegum absolutely did this on purpose, so that whenever his prospective opponents try to find footage of him fighting, the only footage they can find is unusable and they can't analyze his technique. Very clever on Ricegum's part, very clever. Now some of you guys might remember this, but this isn't the only prospective boxing match that iDubbbz has been involved in. A while ago, he was training for a different potential fight with another Content Cop target, Jinx.
Bucket hat wearing faggot.
fight never happened because Jinx backed out last minute, and from that point on, their only interaction was iDubbbz looking menacingly at Jinx from across the hall at every VidCon thereafter.
Jinx is about to react to this. Check this out. We found him. It's about that time. Turn, cunt.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word.
Now, Ricegum actually does bring up that boxing match that never was on his Drama Alert interview.
I mean, I don't know why he doesn't want to box me, because the whole Jinx thing, you know, Jinx, he didn't want to box iDubbbz. And I just remember on Twitter, you know, iDubbbz like was always tweeting at him, oh, fight me, this, right. Fight me. Yeah, and it's just weird that now the opportunity comes for someone to fight, he doesn't want to fight me. So, I mean, I don't know, man. What do you think, Kim?
Very sly, Rice Glue. Very sly. Trying to use iDubbbz's past challenges to get him to box you.
Excellent choice.
Now, Ricegum said that apparently he had tried to contact iDubbbz in private to make this boxing match happen. He said that he reached out to some of iDubbbz's friends and did all that kind of stuff to try and get in touch with him. And he said that it sounded like that iDubbbz wasn't going to be interested.
And I've asked him, like, through Twitter. He just ignored me, and then I asked some of his boys that I felt like Max, and just some of his boys, and they were just like, yeah, he probably isn't interested.
Now, before I get more into that, I personally think it would be great if this boxing match happened. Now, as I've said probably too many times across multiple videos and multiple episodes of my podcast, Pullover, usually live on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Times and dates do vary depending on mine and the guest schedule, so be sure to follow me on Twitter at Kwite for updates when I'm streaming. Also, if you want to check out any of the already aired episodes, they've all been uploaded to a separate channel, which there's a link to in the description and in the sidebar of the channel. I am very much looking forward to the YouTuber boxing match way out in August. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch, for one, and the more stacked with interesting matchups that the undercard is leading up to the KSI versus Logan Paul fight, which might not even actually happen because both sides accuse the other side's team of being uncooperative and unprofessional, when really everybody just wants to see them beat the fuck out of each other for the sake of the culture, the better. At the same time, and back to the point before this, as much as I think it would be cool if it did happen, I'm not holding my hopes up for it. This just doesn't seem like the type of thing that iDubbbz would bother to get involved in. Though, of course, Ricegum has his own theories on why iDubbbz might not want to fight.
And if he was interested, he would go out of his way and be like, let's box, like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't even think it's like he's scaring me, because like I'm really not intimidating with the, you know, I'm skinny or whatever. If he's down, we'll make it happen. If not, then he's a pussy.
Now, while he does do the which strategy should I try, respecting his decision or calling him a coward if he says no, I don't know, why not both? Thing he did in that one video he made responding to the Leafy content cop. There is one other possibility, but I don't know how reasonable it is to assume that this might be the reason that iDubbbz potentially chooses to abstain from the fight, but it's interesting to speculate on anyways, and that is the impact that this could have on both Ricegum and iDubbbz's career.
Me knowing that if I lose, it's connected to my name forever, like Joe, like everyone will see Joe as the guy that got beat up by KSI. So I mean, I really don't want that. So that will push me to, you know, not lose, which will train. I mean, I don't know, man. I just really don't want this to happen. And the
effect it could potentially have on either iDubbbz's or Ricegum's reputation is pretty similar to what KSI and Joe Weller had in their fight, and likely what anybody on the undercard of the next fight is going to have. That being, if they lose, they have the connotation of being the guy who got his ass beat by the other guy for an indefinite amount of time. And that can go one of two ways. Imagine if iDubbbz kicked the shit out of Ricegum. It would be really fun, and iDubbbz would likely be elevated even further as the guy who takes people to task. But if Ricegum won, imagine how much that could potentially shoot down iDubbbz's credibility in future content cops. If there even is gonna be a future content cop. I don't think it's a certainty that content cops will lose their oomph that they had before this hypothetical loss, but the risk of them doing so could be a deciding factor in iDubbbz's decision. If he hasn't made that decision already, that is. iDubbbz, as of me recording this video, hasn't responded to Ricegum's challenge, or said anything on whether he'll be participating in the fight or not. If he's turning it down or if something happens while I'm editing this, then I'll put a poorly written and spoken update right around here.
Nope, still nothing.
I personally don't think it's gonna happen, but it's fun to dream. Well, unless it's the end of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon 2, then dreaming could probably be one of the scariest things you could ever do. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe. Like I said very subtly earlier, I have a live podcast called Pullover that I try and stream every week. I usually stream on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, but times and dates do vary depending on mine and guest schedules, so be sure to follow me on Twitter at Kwite for updates on when I'm streaming. If you want to check out any of the already uploaded episodes, like I said, they've all been uploaded to a separate channel, and there's a link to that in the description and in the sidebar of the channel. I also have a Discord server, and if you want to check that out, there's a link to that in the description as well.
Also, a big thank you to anybody who's pledged to the Patreon so far. To anybody else who's interested in helping the channel out just a little more, there's a link to my Patreon in the description. Big thank you if you choose to pledge, and even if you don't.
Anyways, now that I've used the same goddamn prop for the 4th time, this has been Kwite, and I will see you guys next time.